Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the Lore Reloaded. Always a pleasure to see you here, one and always. Going to give it a few minutes. Make sure you guys can hear me. Then we will be breaking down the second part of Squadrons, because that just came out. Oh yeah. And who doesn't love Squadrons, I ask? Communists. Communists don't like Squadrons. Let me put this out there. Ooh-rah. That, so that people can join us and have fun. Sorry guys, just finishing this up. It'll take me a quick second, and then we can get right down to it. Assuming that I did this right and everyone can hear me. Have fun. Which I think I did. Hold on. Yeah. You guys should be able to hear me too. Let me know if you can hear me. Alright, I'm going to do a quick test. Let me know if you guys can hear the sound every well. And if you can see it. Hold on. Wait for it. Alright, so this is it talking versus me. Make sure we're doing alright. Make sure it goes on. I won't be talking over them all that much. Da-da-da-da-da. And boom. Let me know what you guys think. We'll come back here for just a quick second, then we'll jump right into it. Yo, Laura, how are you and yours? I'm doing well. Hope you are doing well. Hope everything is going all right. And we will go from there. Now, you said you can see and hear it. Can you see and hear it? Does it go well versus my voice? I need to know that. People need to know. It's vital. Was he coming in all right? And then we'll get into it. Well, we may just jump into it anyway. Doesn't matter. We'll see where it is. Looks good and it's pretty good. Okay, let's jump right into it. Here we go. If you haven't seen part 1, then that can be a problem. What's up, Daniel's Hot Topic? Jack Rindar in the house? Who doesn't love the Dominion? Now, as a reminder, what actually occurred was that they took over one of the what was it? It wasn't the Newark class. They took over one of the vessels and destroyed their own. So the Dominion is actually in charge of this vessel. So here we go. I love how, like, all the lights just drop, apparently, when they go to red alert. Norway class, that's right. So they're actually able to get the shields up.
Štíty na 70% a klesají.
Hlášení. Luanda zničila San Jose. Použili jejich prefix, ale náš se mi podařilo zablokovat.
Okay. So he changed their prefix codes, I guess? I don't... Okay.
Kapitáne, Luanda se zase obrací. Na nás.
Připravte se opětovat palbu.
Na naši loď, pane?
Ano, na naši loď. To oni střílí na nás. Palte.
Znovu vystřelili kvantová torpéda.
Štíty další zásah nevydrží.
Leďte přímo k nim, zkraťte vzdálenost, maximální rychlost.
Admirále.
Hned.
Poručíku, ruším ten rozkaz. To je sebevražda, admirále.
Zásah za 20 sekund.
Splňte rozkaz.
See, this is the problem right here. This is... So I actually talked to the... You wouldn't block the prefix codes, you'd change them. I actually talked with the director and the writer, and part of this was supposed to be like the captain learning. But this is the problem with the entire thing that the Admiral is doing. Like, when we rewatch it, the Admiral has stated the captain is staying in charge. We got another battle scenario, and the Admiral is overriding the captain. There's a couple of things here. First off, again, this is horrific battle cohesion. Both of them are fighting on the bridge, and the crew doesn't know who to follow or who to listen to. Now, either the captain is competent and they should listen to him and he's going to do it another way, or this is the second time in a row the admiral has had to save the ship, making this captain incompetent, and he shouldn't be in command. He should be in command of a tug. It's one or the other, not both. I talked about this in my breakdown. Again, it's put together really well. It's frustrating because it honestly just seems like this captain has no idea what he's doing. I don't know. Am I way off on that? What are your guys' opinions or thoughts when it comes to that? I'd be curious. Who doesn't love the Dominion? The family of those who died because of it? Well, I guess. Unless they didn't like the people they loved, then they maybe not like the Dominion. Do you think we will have another war arc in Star Trek lore, either in Section 31 or Discovery Season 5, Season 4? I hope not. I think we're kind of warred out. So it's my hope that they don't have a war scenario. They honestly haven't set it up. Imagine a Federation Civil War. Yeah, honestly, a Federation Civil War, or as close to it as you can get, would happen after the Dominion War. So honestly, like Picard era, like before Picard era, if you ask me. But if they were to have that, again, I don't think we need wars. Let's just do some exploring. That's coming from me saying that. Let's do some exploring.
Střelili kvantová torpéda.
Štíty další zásah nevydrží.
Leďte přímo k nim, zkraťte vzdálenost, maximální rychlost.
Admirále,
Hned!
poručíku, ruším ten rozkaz. To je sebevražda, admirále.
Zásah za 20 sekund.
Splňte rozkaz.
Měním kurz. Maximální impuls.
Vypadá to,
It's overacting.
že všechno o federačních lodích nakonec nevíte.
Připravili jste mě jenom o trošku času.
Času, který admirál Nansen využije k opravám. Potom to budou 2 lodi proti 1.
Tady nejde o matematiku, kapitáne. Četla jste německého vojenského filozofa Clausewitze? Věděla byste, že už on upozorňoval na to, že válku vedou lidé a ne stroje.
They use a lot of human references here, like back to it. I get it because, we're human. I don't know how I feel about that, if I'm honestly.
Otočte nás a ustupte. Pošlete zprávu Nuku, ať nás následuje.
Ano, pane.
Co se stalo?
Ať už Luandu obsadil kdokoliv, pořád používá federační protokoly. Torpéda se neodjistí, dokud nejsou v určité vzdálenosti od lodi, aby ji nepoškodili.
A vy jste zkrátil tu vzdálenost.
How does he not know that? He's a captain of a ship. How would he not? First off, that doesn't we in TNG and DS9 that's not true. But let's just assume that is. How does the captain not know that? He is in the command of one of the most powerful vessels, arguably a Dominion War variant made for fighting. How does he not know how his weapons work?
Přesně tak. Takže torpéda narazila neodjištěná do trupu.
Admirále, zpráva z Ratiru. Je to od nadporučíka McCallové.
McCallová.
To je druhá důstojnice na Luandě. Co je ve zprávě?
Posádka Luandy byla prý celá transportována na povrch Ratiru. Nemohou najít kapitána Teplur.
Dobrá, vyřiďte McCallové, ať vydrží. Takže Luanda byla obsazena. A nejspíš už ji přenastaví torpéda, aby se odjistila okamžitě.
Torpéda jsou připravena.
Výborně. Volejte.
Decker did the same thing to Kirk over the phasers to use photon torpedoes in Star Trek the movie. Yes, but this is the exact opposite of that. Decker, the captain of the vessel who's in control, tells the admiral, who isn't as up to date on weapons because he's been behind a desk, what's going on. In this version, the admiral tells the captain, who has been in charge of this ship, running battle drills, if you remember, how his vessel works. I don't know. Again, I really like this. It's just... So, this is the thing that confuses people. I'm frustrated because this is really written right, because these characters seem real to me. And so these characters are making mind-boggling decisions that's frustrating. That's how you know it's good, because I'm getting worked up over characters.
Dej vlajkovou loď a zaměřte tu druhou. Zatím nemáme žádné škody.
Naše štíty jsou na 50%.
Jaký je tedy postup? Luanda se zase dává do pohybu.
Admirále, Luanda nás volá.
Sledujte ten rozhovor, kapitáne, a připravte se k boji. Spojte nás.
Admirále Nansen, ráda vás poznávám. Kapitánka Teplur mi o vás vyprávěla. I když jen stručně. Její denobolánský první důstojník byl mnohem výřečnější.
Vy jste kdo?
Jmenuji se Imrina. A momentálně velím lodi Luanda.
A co chcete?
Pouze vás upozornit, že tu máme vaši statečnou kapitánku. A že váš neuvážený útok na nás by jí mohl ohrozit.
Chce bombardovat Ratyr, admirále. Musíte Luandu zničit.
To neuděláte, admirále. Nezničíte vlastní loď s vašimi lidmi na palubě. Naše záměry jsou vám již...
Dialogue's a little much. Their dialogue's a little much. Her telling him what he's going to do or how it works. But then again, CGI is expensive, so I can imagine them wanting to not do a lot of CGI.
Věřím, že jako příkladný důstojník federace
You're a Trekkie, you don't watch Super Bowl.
se budete snažit najít řešení, jak svou statečnou kapitánku zachránit. Konec dobrý, všechno dobré. Nemám pravdu, admirále? Tak se zatím mějte.
Luanda se připravuje k palbě.
Admirále, navrhuji výsadek. Komandér Kolombová připravuje tým bezpečnostních důstojníků. Když jim vyřadíme štíty a transportujeme se na palubu, můžeme...
Ne, na to nemáme čas.
Ale pane, je tam kapitán Teplur.
To je přesně to, co ona chce.
Kdo? Teplur nebo ta Vorta?
Vorta, Inrina, chce nás zdržet. Chce, abychom zaváhali. A Teplur chce, abychom loď zničili.
Ale pane...
Luanda pálí kvantová torpéda.
Útočný vzor Maxwell Delta. Opětujte palbu.
Yeah, it's always good when the translator actually adds the accent to it. I like that.
Nadporučíku, laste škody.
Přišli jsme o impuls, protržení trupu na palubách 11 a 12.
Můstek strojovně. Nadporučíku Medrano. Za jak dlouho budeme mít zpátky pohon?
Tady poručík Thompson, pane. Nadporučík Medrano je mrtvý. Snažíme se pohon obnovit, ale bude to trvat alespoň 20 minut.
Ale my nemáme 20 minut. Dělejte, co můžete, můstek, konec.
Snažil jste se jen ochromit a poslat tam výsadek, že?
Dlužil jsem to kapitánu Teplur.
This captain. So first off, even pulling their punches, I don't see how those two vessels did not just wipe the floor with Captain Tepler's ship. What is the nuke? Or the Luanda. I think it's Luanda. I don't know how the Luanda did not just get wrecked. Because you remember, one vessel took on 4 Jem'Hadar bug ships, 4 Jem'Hadar fighters, destroyed every one of them. Even pulling their punches, I don't know how that occurred. But the other piece to this that, again, gets a little bit into it, for me at least, is that he was ordered to destroy the ship, to go for the gut punch. But he pulled his... First off, I don't know how he's pulling punches with the Admiral right there. I honestly have no idea how that works. But he pulled his punches. He disobeyed a direct order. So he's almost gotten the ship destroyed twice and disobeys a direct order. This guy should not be a captain. One of the other things that's interesting, and I'm not sure, I'd love to talk to the cinematographer. I'd love to talk to the person who did the camera work. Whenever there is, just from a filming perspective, if you guys are interested, whenever there is like actual issues between the characters, sometimes they'll throw them at a Dutch angle. They're not doing it right now. I'll show you when they do it. And they'll move the camera to like the right or to the left, and they'll make it seem like it's coming from a different angle. This is generally done to show that something's off, to make you feel uncomfortable with the surrounding, but not necessarily just like for confrontation. It's more to show when things don't feel right. They've done it throughout the two parts. I don't know. Maybe that's a Dutch filming technique. Generally, in American cinema at least, you don't do that unless it's really meant to be felt awkward or odd. Anyway.
Jak je na tom Luanda?
Minimální škody, admirále. Má pouze oslabené horní štíty.
Spojte mě s Nukem.
See, the Luanda should have taken more hits. The Luanda beat the hell out of these two ships, and yet does not take any significant damage.
Admirále.
Jak jste na tom, kapitáne?
Špatně, pane. Přišli jsme o všechny zbraňové systémy a máme ztráty skoro na všech palubách. Štíty jsme obnovili, ale nevím, jak dlouho vydrží.
Minneapolis má zbraně funkční, ale jsme bez pohonu a téměř bez štítů. Jsme první na ráně, až se otočí.
Budeme vás krýt, admirále.
Ne, to nechci. Máte funkční pohon?
Ano. Pohon je asi jediná věc, za kterou se můžu 100% zaručit.
Admirále, Luanda se obrací.
Nemáme čas. Kapitáne, mám pro vás úkol.
It's done really well. Yeah, don't get me wrong. Oh, so first off, did you guys see that? Look at that. That is really well done. Okay, so I want to see this real quick. This is great cinematography, great camera work.
Pro vás úkol.
Boom.
Otáčíme se.
So it shows how they're working on both and how they work similarly. It gives you the same vibe and stuff like that. So it's just really well done. Anyway, you guys don't care about that. Yeah, I don't know how they haven't taken more damage. It's weird. The War Doctor fought the Time War unarmed. You couldn't imagine Cisco fighting in the Dominion War unarmed. Cisco took on Jim Hadar with his fists. In I believe it was the ship. The first time it might not have been the ship. The first time the Defiant goes looking for the Jim Hadar and they all beam on, he uses only his fists and takes like 3 of them. Also, in the Siege of Siege of Star Trek DS9. It's not the Siege. The Siege of AR-558. He actually goes hand to hand with him as well. This information will never be useful when I stop being the lore reloaded. The fact I can instantly pops that up means that I will is absolutely useless after I stop doing this. And I will never have a time that I need that instant call up. They are all the same class. You should have been here for the first time we were watching this, good sir. Should have been here for the first time. Get in the game.
Budeme v rozstřelu za 30 sekund.
Soustřeďte palbu na vlajkovou loď. Vidíte, kapitáne? Válku vedou lidé a ne stroje. Kvůli vám se pokusili Luandu jen ochromit. A to jim přinese zkázu.
Ta druhá loď se staví mezi nás a vlajkovou loď.
Pochopitelně. Chrání svého admirála. Palte dle uvážení.
Kapitáne DeSantisi?
Ano, pane?
They are, just to correct, they're Norway-class variants. May not seem important, but they go out of their way to say that. One of the reasons why is if they can't or don't want to do something that you see on a canon Norway class, they can get away by saying it's a variant. But it is Norway class. Technically, it's a variant, though. They never say what kind.
Zaměřte torpéda na Nuk a palte.
Na Nuk, pane.
Splňte ten rozkaz, nadporučíku.
Co to dělají?
Something I would have done here. Technically, they should be able to see everything we know about Federation sensors. They're really good. They should be able to see the weapons fire behind them. This is where I probably would have, if I was going to have the Nuke and the Minneapolis be damaged and the Luanda have the upper hand, the one thing I would have done is made it seem like the Luanda took more damage, and I would have said sensors specifically. And that way it explains how they never saw it coming.
Proč na nás nestřílejí?
Zřejmě nemohou, ale blokují nám zaměření na svou vlajkovou loď.
Nebo jen možná pochopili, v jaké jsou krajině.
Krajině?
To nevíte, jak Sun Tzu popsal 9 krajin?
I didn't understand this when she first talked about it, so let's see if you guys can help me out with this. Do the captain and the first officer fight for the armrests? They probably do. Yes, most Starfleet ships are modular. That's how they can do, what did I used to call it? Modifications. They, they change the sets. All right, let's see if you guys can help me with this.
Sluje krajina, jenž rozptyluje síly vladaře, co ve vlastní zemi bojuje.
Převádíme energii do přední štítu.
Nepřátelská loď se obrací.
Smrtonosnou sluje krajina, v níž jen bezprostřední boj nás může zachrániti. Neb jinak jsme v ní ztraceni.
Další takový zásah nevydržíme.
Ještě pár sekund.
Ve smrtonosné krajině bojuj.
Teď!
I don't get the saying from Sun Tzu. I may not be smart enough. I'm not sure why that was a good reference. Do Federation ships have something like flares to deter and distract the torpedoes like planes do with missiles? Nope, we've never seen anything like that. They do have ECM and ECCM, electric countermeasures and electric countermeasures. This is something that they bring up. Deep Space Nine, they do it a couple of times. It's a good shot, and it's very well rendered. It's good CGI. Some of it doesn't make sense. Again, they should be able to detect those attacks. And I don't get the Sun Tzu reference. Can someone help me out with the Sun Tzu reference that she's talking about? What exactly does that mean? If the Guardian sent Georgiou back to the 23rd century and Section 31 will be in that time period, I'm going to... That's the only thing they can do, Daniel's Hot Topic. I don't know why you'd be upset about that. They either have to send her back to the 23rd century for her to be in Section 31, or they have to send her back to her time and a form of Section 31 will be there. She has to be in the 23rd century or in her own dimension or her own world, her own universe. There it is. One or the other. So why would you get mad at that, though? We know Section 31 exists in the 23rd century. That's set up by OG. Can't be TNG and have Georgiou.
Admirálův deník, hvězdné datum 5.1.895,2. Hvězdná flotila k nám vyslala posily a mezi tím probíhají opravy na Minneapolis a Nuku. Na povrchu Ratiru jsme objevili dominionskou výzvědnou buňku spolu s několika sympatizanty v místní vládě. Při pátrání jsme bohužel našli i těla.
Okay, so this planet is hostile to the Dominion, or hostile to Starfleet. They don't want Starfleet to do anything. Starfleet comes in and says, hey, we don't like that you have relations with the Dominion, so we're going to now arrest you all. They don't seem to be a member world of Starfleet, so I don't know. What do you think if the Borg versus the Dominion? I have an entire series that I'm doing on the Borg versus the Dominion. Several videos out, including animated ones and real-life ones. That's what I think. By the way, thank you so much, Cedric, for helping out the channel. Guys, this is the only way I keep this going. Is this close to a steamboat class? It is not close to a steamboat class, no. From everything we know about the two different vessels. Now they got a nebula class. Now we're talking...
a 6 členů jeho výsadku. Zbytek posádky Luandy byl zachráněn. Nám nyní nezbývá nic jiného, než čekat.
Můj šéf inženýr odhaduje, že zbraně budou zase funkční za 2 dny, admirále.
Nadporučík McCallová se pustila do oprav naplno a díky ní máme zpátky i pohon. S vaším svolením bych ji rád nechal na palubě jako hlavního inženýra.
Souhlasím.
Děkuji, pane.
Jestli je to všechno, myslím, že všichni máme dost práce. A vy si, kapitáne, dojděte konečně na ošetřovnu.
Not Steam Runner, yeah.
Admirále, chtěl jsem se vás zeptat stran té mé žádosti o převelení.
Ano, kapitáne, omlouvám se. Ještě jsem bohužel neměl čas jí odeslat.
I don't think I'm Slipper, no.
Bych rád tu žádost stáhnul, pane.
Vážně? Jste si jistý? Vždyť víte, že mám občas tendence osobně velet lodi.
Myslím, že si zvyknu.
You already have command. I don't even know why they're that silly. You already have command.
Jsem rád, že zůstáváte na palubě.
Though I did enjoy that callback to DS9. season
Ústek
1,
admirálu Nansenovi.
episode 1.
Poslední posily z hvězdné flotily právě dorazily.
Tady Nansen, rozumím.
Až po vás, admirále.
See, look at that. What? The reason why you... Well, that's fine. They do that in... Not Babylon 5. What the hell is it called? Battlestar Galactica all the time. But this right here, this... I guess maybe they're trying to mimic what you see here, but the only reason you do that is to make it seem like something's off. From a... Your brain gets confused on that. Because you're used to... You're used to American cinema, and at least in American cinema, you don't do that. I'd really be really interested the reasoning behind that. And again, this is great. I like it, but I think doing that hurts it, for me at least. I don't know. We should do this from the beginning. This is Czech. It is Czechoslovakian, I guess you would say. Whatever language they speak. They speak Czech. Well, we can start it from the beginning, but we'd already seen that. So I don't want to... we can either go on to talking about whatever you guys want to talk about, or we can rewatch it from the beginning. We can watch the whole thing. So if you want to rewatch everything, do 1. If you guys just want to move on and talk about stuff before I get off, put 2. Maybe it's meant to show that they really didn't give him command. That's why it seems off. I like it. I'm going to headcanon that. That's exactly why they did that. Laura, have you considered that? Maybe... Yeah, I've already answered that. Who do you think the Federation would freak out to more being close to Earth? The Dominion or the Borg? Both, I guess. Both, good sir. Bono Cat, that's not 1 or 2. So when you say hell no, I don't know what that means. Hell no to what? 1 or 2, sir? We could just watch the first part. Watch it in reverse. That seemed good. Dutch angles are popular in Discovery. Probably overused there as well. I'd have to go back and watch. I don't really remember Dutch angles being that prevalent. Again, usually when you have Dutch angles in that way, it's more of, again, telling you something's off, more storytelling. I don't think they ever used it not that way. But I'd have to go back and watch. So anyway, I guess that means we can talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. Get into whatever topics you guys. That was Top Tier, 10 out of 10 entertainment. Thanks for sharing. I really enjoy it. I'll probably be doing the breakdown on it at some point. I think it's really well put together. It's probably the best fan fiction movie I've seen to date. That's including Axanar. I think it's really well put together. Now, that doesn't mean that, you know, the others are bad or trash or anything like that, but that's just me specifically. Let's see. Let's exit out of that. Anyway, we can talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. Apparently, people are getting upset because Spock is dancing. That's absolutely ludicrous. I get how hate watching works. It just makes me tired. We could also talk about Section 31 and what we think is happening with that. Has to be in the 23rd century. I'm really interested why you have an issue with that. Why would that make you scream if it was in the 23rd century? Section 31 existed before the Federation's Starfleet existed. Starfleet for the Federation wasn't even thought of when Section 31 was operating. Thank you, Enterprise. So I'm not sure why that would upset you. What are the chances of a Titan or River or something? River series or movie? Very low right now, I'd say. We'll probably see the Titan for a little bit in Season 3 of Discovery, but not for much longer. The universe's Prime and Mirror diverged in the 27th century, so she could end up in the Picard Season 2 or 3 times. No, she couldn't. That's not how it works. First off, the Prime and Mirror universes... Well, if you mean diverged, it wouldn't be the 27th century. They diverged in the 24th century, my good lad, if not the 23rd century. They diverged quite a bit of ways. But she will die if she is not either in the same century that she was or in the same universe that she is. Those are clearly the rules that are set. She dies if she's not in the 23rd century or if she's not in a mirror universe. because her atoms don't like being her atoms are used to being in the time and the universe they're created. They became too far to cross in the 27th. Okay. I don't even agree with that, because the only reason they didn't send him back in the 28th, no, in the 32nd century, because they had that time soldier. Of course, he could have been dead by then, but the only time they didn't send him back in the 24th century is when they had it. The reason why they didn't send him back was because it was against the law, against the rules. I'm so tired of freaking seeing the 23rd century. It's done to death. Man, I completely agree with you, Daniel. You and me are right there. I'm just saying what the rules are. Section 31 is every intelligence agency on the planet under one roof. It's always existed. The CIA was called something different. Okay. Discussing Section 31 series as well as truck time travel. I'll stay on for a little bit. We can talk a little bit longer if you guys want to. Section 31 is interesting. Section 31, I think, is basically the Federation doing the right thing for the wrong reasons, or the Federation letting the ends justify the means type deal. The Soong family TV show, I would hate that. Cronenberg stated that the two universes kept drifting further and further apart. There had not been a crossing in 500 years. Yes, Walter Mick. He did say that. Agreed. Maybe the Sun Tzu was insinuating when you have nothing left to lose, do you fight hardest and gamble the most, tending to succeed despite the odds? I guess. Dragon Sword. I don't know. I didn't get that. I'm gonna do a breakdown tomorrow, so I'm gonna have to reanalyze that and look into Sun Tzu a little bit. Man, the things I research as a filmmaker and as a content creator, I never thought. There are things I know that I have no good bearing to know, and probably have me on a CIA list. Did you know that the sound made by a rocket is so devastating, it can melt concrete? And will destroy your internal organs. The sound, not the heat, not anything like that. The sound. That's why they have to reinforce it and everything. It's stupid, man. It's crazy what it can do. There's no reason for me to know that except for doing the First Contact breakdown. Cronenberg is playing the president of the Federation. I think Cronenberg is Section 31. I hope we never find out. I think it's better that we don't. Do you think Section 31 will appear in Picard Season 2? No, I don't. I'm not sure what they're going to do with Picard in Season 2. I think that would be really interesting. But I'm not completely sure where they'd go with that, if I'm being honest with you. I've heard, and it seems like a lot of them are going back to, Villain of the Week or whatever. Almost all of the shows are doing that. So, I don't know. That's why they have water sound suppression at Launch Complex. Yeah, I mean, it's stupid what it is. I mean, I have no reason to know all of this. Jonathan C., Section 31 is justified because you must do bad to live good. That's what Star Trek tells us. That is the message of Trek, whether you like it or not. I'm sick of Section 31. They suck if they're in every episode. Well, it's kind of like the Borg, right? The Borg started sucking when you included them in Voyager. So I agree, but it's just what happens. That's why I don't want to find out about the guy in the glasses, Cronenberg's character, because is that his name? Yeah, Cronenberg's character, because it would ruin it. The less you know about a character, the better he is. In the 32nd century, first off, it's the guy with the glasses, sir. In the 32nd century, the guy with the glasses said in 500 years ago, the universe has diverged, so the 32nd century minus 500 is the 27th century. He said there hasn't been a crossing in 500 years. I don't know if it exactly diverged. I can tell you it diverged before the 24th century. If you don't believe me, go watch Deep Space Nine. I'm just telling you what the truth is. Now, the universes may have started drifting apart, Maybe that's what he means by diverge, but if you're talking about history, if that's what we mean, they started diverging in the 23rd century. In the very first Section 31 episode on DS9, William Sadler played the Section 31 agent, and he did an outstanding job. Are we just, like, stating facts now? Is that what we're doing in the comments? Because that's okay, but I don't know. The Sun Tzu philosophy that references the 9 grounds. Yeah, well, thanks. I appreciate you saying that. She said it, too. Alex Sewell helping out the channel. Great stuff. Too bad I joined halfway. Well, you're welcome, Alex. We're not really breaking anything crazy down, but thank you so much. Guys, it's the only way I keep the lights on, so thank you so much for supporting the channel. Especially in February, it gets so bad. You don't... Oh, man. Let's just call Section 31 by its real name, the CIA. I think they're a little bit worse and better than the CIA somehow at the same time. I think he is the president of the Federation. He did Georgie's interview himself. I don't think so. I think he's Section 31. I don't think he's the president. When who attacked the airport? Who was cool? 7 of 9 signed on for the 4th season. Well, sure. Has signed on for the 4th season. 4th season of Picard? I haven't heard that there's going to be 4 seasons of Picard. Star Trek. Picard, 4 seasons. Or are you talking about Discovery Season 4? Discovery Season 4. That'd be interesting. I hope not. I don't want to see 709 on Discovery. Please, God, don't have her on Discovery. Please, God. That being said, she could be Section 31 and knows her history after she returns to the 23rd century, I guess. 3rd time's the charm. Good friend. Michael Dorn wants to do his Worf show, and he's still pitching it, but it will be about Worf making the Empire more like the Federation. Yeah, that was a bad pitch. I already saw that. And I saw what he wanted to do. It's just a bad, bad pitch. I don't think... Now, look, I like Worf. I like Michael Dorn. Don't get me wrong, so don't take that in any negative way. I don't think a Worf-centric series could work. I just don't. Klingons are not humans. You really need to be able to connect your audience to the series, especially if you're a corporation and you're making corporate Trek. And that would be very niched. It'd be very hard for them to connect or understand what the Klingons are doing. It would need to be human-centric, or at least as human-centric as it could be. There's a reason why Trek has always put Earth in danger. It's because we all live on Earth. It really wouldn't make too much sense to do it any other way. Ooh, one of my props is on its way here. Yeah. That's just like Shatner and his Kirk novels. Yeah, it would be like Shatner and his... it would not be as bad as that, but... Man, I've been hooked on BF5 this last week. Good. Babylon 5 is really good. I love it. I'm going to start doing more breakdowns with it. What's going on, Master Sid? What the heck? Doesn't Mike Dorn not remember the pain in hours time he complained about to wear the Klingon makeup? I don't know. That you'd have to go to Lore Runner for that information. I think Bajorans are human enough for audiences to connect to. I'd do a Bajoran focused show before I'd do a Klingon show every day, all day. I'd do it before I do a Dominion, before I do a Romulan, before I do a Ferengi. I would, yes, all day, every day. Yes, but I still don't think that that's a good idea. Dara Sumkote helping out the channel. Do you think there will be a show that has a female version of Kirk that goes around exploring the galaxy and hooks up with a bunch of guys? I believe that is somewhat called Discovery. Season 4. I honestly don't think they'll do that. I think they might have a female version of Kirk. They might try to turn Michael into that a little bit. But I don't think that they'll go full Kirk. I just don't think right now the culture would be okay with that. I really don't. I think they'd do that before they did a male version, but I honestly don't think that they would have like a Cavalier character to that degree, male or female. Never watched Babylon 5, but I'd binge it if you did a breakdown. I've had like 10 videos out. By the way, thank you guys so much. It's the only way I keep the lights on. I have like 10 videos, my good friend, on it, but I'm going to start doing it again. They actually have the HD version on HBO. If you have HBO, I'd suggest watching it. Don't get HBO to watch it. HBO is a little expensive. But if you already have HBO for something else, definitely binge it. After Disco Klingons, who cares? You know, Cedric, I like you, man. You're good people, but I wonder how many people said that after Star Trek IV: The Undiscovered Country. Man, after they changed the Klingons like they did you see the ridges on the head? They never did that in the original series. And now they're talking about honor. You know, that is not what the Klingons were in the original series on the TV episode. The OG, before they started making it corporate and about money, Undiscovered Country is so horrible. And did you hear that Roddenberry didn't like it? I mean, these Klingons are trying to sit there and talk about honor and how they care and how it's going to be an honorable world and everything. That is absolutely not what they did in the series. I cannot stand the new writers. It is just, I mean, after Undiscovered Country Klingons, who cares? Who cares? They changed them so much. It's just ridiculous. And did you know that Kirk was even racist in that one? I mean, not my Kirk. Am I right? Not my Kirk. Dragon Sword, thanks for the support. And did you see that new TNG series? Oh, don't even get me started. They have a Klingon on the bridge named Worf, just like in Undiscovered Country. The same character. I mean, they are just getting so lazy. It's such bad writing. I mean, Drek. Do you hear me, guys? Yeah. Do you think they would create a new TV show? It's the war between the Enterprise J and the Builders, like we saw in Star Trek Enterprise. Dragon Sword, I still see it. I don't know what you commented, but if you tell me what you tell me what you commented, and I'll do it, Dragon, because I don't see it. Yeah, it did disappear. Do you think they'd create a new TV show? I hope not. I'm really worn out. I got to be honest with you. I don't want to see any more war for. Can you give me like 1 or 2 seasons? You know. I don't think they'll do it anyway. I think they're more. I don't think that would go along with what they're trying to do. Klingons went from space Russians in the original series to space Vikings in the Next Generation. Kinda. I can kind of agree with that. I'm more used to the Klingons from the Next Generation, so that's why I deferred to them. They hate the Discovery look, but they do change them a lot. Yeah, the Klingons changed all the time. The original series, OG, don't look anything like the movies. The movies are actually different from TNG Season 1. TNG Season 1 and Season 2 is different from TNG Season 3 and on. TNG Season 3 is generally what you see in DS9, but they do make a few little changes in DS9. No real massive changes in Enterprise. And then we go back to like TNG look in... no real massive changes in Voyager. Then we go back to a TNG look in Enterprise. And then JJ Trek, when you look at what he did in the background, he just like changed. He's to hell with all of it. Did I react to the gelato reference Tilly made in the Disco Season 4 finale? Someone doesn't watch every video I upload, which is what you guys have to do, right? I thought that thought you guys are required by like law. Here you go, good buddy. I did. I actually created an entire video to it. Jonathan C., the nuanced manner in which you disassemble haters of Trek makes me LOL every time. Don't ever stalk Trek, because Trek love it. To be clear, Cedric isn't a hater. Cedric's good people. I like Cedric. It's just the argument there I disagree with. And if Cedric, if you're mad at me and you want me to give you the money back, I'll be happy to. But as everyone knows, I give my actual opinions. It's the ideas, not the person. You should watch that then, Dragon Sword. I think you'll get a chuckle out of it. If they ever need a Vulcan, they generally just tape some First Federation guys. What? Why such a reaction about the changing Klingons and not the Federation? What I miss? Why such a reaction about the changing Klingons? I don't know what you mean by that, Bono. Jaeger for Star Trek Online? The Jaeger class? Don't they have the Jaeger class? I thought they had the Jaeger class. Is Cedric still here? Hey, Cedric. You here, buddy? I don't know if it tells me if people are here or not anymore. The CAA is now Cult Section 31. You may not like it, but let's just accept it. I think that Section 31 is both better and worse than the CIA. I thought they did have Jaegers. I could have swore I have a Jaeger class ship. Maybe I'm wrong, but I could have sworn that I did. You know, here's the thing, and this is not a popular opinion, especially for those who do not like Disco Era Trek. Discovery hasn't done anything different than Legacy Trek at all. They've just taken it to like level 11. Did I enjoy the VFX? What's going on, Power 543 Fan Films, otherwise known as Commander Cockings? It's actually going to send you a message before I went to sleep tonight. Let's get some time to talk and work out arrangements for you helping me out on my project. I'll send you a tweet, or you can send me a tweet, DM, whatever. The VFX were awesome. We were actually talking about that. It's pretty cool. For those who didn't know, Samuel, Commander Cockings, played a big role in the Star Trek Squadrons. Of course, he plays a big role in all of the fan films. He's like the fan film guy when it comes to CGI. Is there YouTube in Star Trek? Yeah, they call it the holodeck. Not a fan of the 32nd Century Starfleet uniforms. What are your thoughts? I think that the uniforms are realistic and consistent with the way Starfleet should be. Starfleet at that time had been beaten down. They were constantly just trying to survive. And so the uniforms are reflective. They're dull, they're gray, they're down. They make you feel not happy, and that's reflective of the era that they're in. So I think that it's consistent. I think that's exactly how they would move. Personally, I don't hate them, but I'm a fan of darker colors, probably because I'm fat. Peacekeepers versus the Federation. I don't know Farscape, unfortunately. Do you like the Norway class more after seeing the project? I know the team weren't 100% sold until they started to see how I used it in dynamic 3D ways. I certainly like the design way more now. I thought the ship was fine. I thought it looked really good together. I liked some of the shots you got. They needed to be Akira class ships. That's all I'll say, because everything needs to be Akira class ships. But I liked it. I think it was a Norway variant, right? It looked very Dominion War-esque. I think it fit the time period. But I think other people can answer that too. What's going on, Ryan? Do you think Bashir joined Section 31 after the events of DS9? No, I completely disagree with the documentary. I don't like what they did. Season 8 would have been an absolute disaster. I'm so glad they didn't go that route. I think that Bashir should always fight Section 31. Dang it, Jim. I'm a doctor, not a commentarian. See, Cedric, that's why I love you, buddy. That's why I love you. Do you have any hope that Picard Season 2 will be good, or at least okay? I thought Season 1 was okay. I thought it was fine. There's a lot of stuff I didn't agree with. I don't like some of the things they went into. I'll say this. Every season that comes after the previous one seems to be better. Discovery Season 1 was the most toxic, worst thing you could ever see. Season 2 was better than Season 1. Discovery Season 3 knocked it out of the park. Picard Season 1 was better than Discovery Season 2. Lower Deck Season 1 is like the best Disco Era Trek you have. So I think that they're finding their footing. So it was a redesign since the Norway class was totally under-designed, no details, and Eagle Moss. Yeah, because they say it in the actual film that it's a variant. And so I just assumed that it was a Dominion War variant. You did a really good job, man. You do good work. I don't think there's anyone that can say legitimately that you do bad work, good sir. What blows my mind, I don't want to say that. The way that your skills and everything, because like most of it is self-taught, right? That blows my mind, dude. You seem like you're someone who went to college for like 20 years. I think Bashir joining Section 31 only makes sense if he and Garrick hook up, which they now want to retcon themselves as not being cowards. But oh my god. So Lisa, this is attacking the idea, not just you. They never put those two together. They never did. That was a rewrite. That was Ira trying to jump on the bandwagon. That was the biggest pandering. Discovery never pandered to the degree that did. Okay, I like Ira, don't get me wrong, but they are straight up lying and saying that they were just too scared to put them together. It was never that case. It was never from behind the scenes. That only started being a thing when the documentary came out, when, wait for it, Discovery was big on LGBT plus. Never. There is no evidence for it. There is an exact counter evidence to it. You might be able to point out that Garrick was pansexual. Maybe he was the male version of Dax. Maybe. But there is absolutely no evidence that those two were going to get together and bounce in each other's laps. It is ludicrous. It is the most annoying thing on planet Earth because it's just pandering. I really like what they're doing with characters in the LGBT generally. I like Stamets and the Doctor, Stamets and Hugh, and a couple others that I think they're doing all right with. But oh man, it is so frustrating. I hate liars and I hate people who are just trying to like get social cred just to get it. That is the most frustrating piece. If they had ever meant for it to happen or given hints, it would make sense, but it just isn't. Oh, I heard that Space 1999 may come back, picking up after they leave Moonbase Alpha. I've honestly, I would enjoy seeing that if they finished it up. I think Bashir joined Section 31. Well, maybe. I agree. Bashir and Garrick doesn't work for me. Yeah. I just don't like that it's pandering. I hate people that take advantage of other people. Ira is generally a good person. He had some ideas I really disagree with, and I just think they did that to try to get social credit. That's as legitimate. Let me say that. This is as legitimate as Ira saying, "Oh, we really we steamrolled content, or we really started really started continuity writing, where serialized writing, where it comes together." Bitch, please. Babylon 5 was doing that way before Deep Space Nine even thought of it. Don't even start with me. Anyway, those two things are, that one is as legitimate as the other. Talk to you later, Cedric. Thanks for coming by. What are your thoughts on whether or not, if the Dominion had conquered the Federation, do you think they would be merciful and understanding or ruthless? Here's the thing about the Dominion that people really kind of get upset about or don't understand. The Dominion themselves really just want people to listen to them, to jump and ask how high. If they say jump, they ask how high. And so if the Federation was willing to do that, they would have had a lot of peace. It would have been a great era for them. It just comes at the price of your soul. So I think that they would have punished probably the big four: humans, Andorians, Tellarites, and Vulcans, the founding members. They probably would have punished the Federation a little bit and started laxing up. I really believe that. Talia, Susan for life, yo. OTP represent. What do you think of the general idea for DS9 Season 8? I hated it. I think it was a horrible way to go. Have you watched the Expanse Season 5? No. I heard it's pretty good, though. Serial stories in Star Trek, the Borg story arc fits better for the first before DS9 too. Well, the Borg two-parters aren't really all that good. I guess you could say serialized overall, but when you think serialized, you think every episode preceding the other. See, even Samuel knows the Dominion want total power so that they can never be attacked and victimized again by the Solids. Yeah, so if you stay in line. Do you think Picard will tie into the burn at least in some way? I don't think I think the burn happens too far out from Picard. They might start seeing shortages, or we might see the Federation come. It's really interesting. Too bad Talia's mid was burnt away. Oh. Don't give... Well, I guess it's been so long. I really like Talia. I need to actually answer questions. I think that the Federation could start becoming authoritarian. Probably looking forward to dilithium, I guess. Maybe, but they're not going to do the burn. What do I think the differences are between Starfleet Intelligence and Section 31? One has a soul, the other does not. Talk to you later, split screen. Thanks for coming by. By the way, for those who don't know, Power 543 Fan Films, that's Samuel Cockings. That's Trek Yards right there. We are among royalty at this moment, good gents. The differences between Starfleet Intelligence and Section 31 is ethics, morals, good guys versus bad guys. I don't think you can be in Section 31 and be a good guy, but I don't know that you're necessarily a bad guy either. It's really interesting. Do I play through Victory's life story in STO? I did. I actually did a commercial for them. They don't talk to me anymore. I'm not completely sure why. I think it has to do with their becoming good friends with CBS, if I had to guess. Or maybe it's just because ZE Films does it a lot better and is more focused on them. I don't know. Oh, where'd you guys go? Do you think that girl is still being choked by that boy? Okay, so listen. I actually came back. I don't know if you missed the second one. We came back and saved her. We were actually able to save her. She is no longer being choked by a Borg. For those who don't know the reference, I was playing Star Trek on Star Trek: The Borg, the game, and I think there was a issue with both the game and my mouse because I've been having issues with my mouse. So I think that kind of combined, we couldn't finish it, but we did get past that point. I mean, and yeah, so you guys know him as Trek Yards, but Samuel actually does a lot of good fan films too. I think he has one. I know he has one coming up. I don't know where it is though. Let's go here. He actually did Temporal Anomaly, on which I did a joke on one of those, and people got upset. Where is it, man? I thought... Yeah, here it is. Here's the thing for you. You guys should go check it out. Have a good night, man. Talk to you on Twitter and then on Skype. Let's get chatting. Yep, talk to you later, Samuel. Thanks for coming by, buddy. Hey, Lore, if you were going to pitch a Trek show with a character-focused story like Picard, what character would you want to see have a continuation? I honestly don't want to do that. I think it's time for Legacy Trek characters to be legacy. I think we need to see new heroes. I think we need to see new Mariners, new Boimlers, new Michaels, new just other characters. However, gun to my head, I'm not sure. Kira might be interesting, but you'd have to tie Starfleet in there. Garrick would be interesting. I don't know. I'd have to think about that. Oh, Miles, who doesn't want to see O'Brien. By the way, Lisa, let me ask you this. So you're the one that brought it up. How do you feel about the shipping between them? If you like Garrick and Bashir being together, like shipping them, I mean, that's fine. I don't necessarily mind that. I mind how Ira handled it. But do you actually want to see that? Do you want to see that as a retcon? And there's not a wrong answer there. So I'm not gonna, it doesn't bother me either way. I think they should move on, but if that's just me, you know. Sorry guys, I have allergies are messing with me. How long could the Alpha Quadrant fight the Dominion for? Probably about 2 or 3 years, if I had to guess. I think the Dominion could outlast them eventually. If I had to guess. Do you think Lower Deck's constant use of references to old Trek makes it a better show or worse? I don't mind it, but I could see how it would annoy people. Yeah, I don't mind it, but I I can if people get upset about it, I can see. I guess. Not really my bag, says Lisa. I thought Bashir and Lita was the only fun person he ever hooked up with. Him and Ezri is an interesting dichotomy. I don't know. Ever notice that's generally Section 31's antics that end the Federation Wars? I have noticed that. What's going on, Donovan? Okay, guys, we can actually get this party started. Donovan's back, so now we can, actually break this down. I'm excited about that. What could Season 4 of Discovery do to further lead into Short Trek Calypso? Yeah, they haven't answered that one, have they? I think that's probably going to be the finale. You know, interestingly enough, I swear to God there was an official source that said Discovery was going to be 3 seasons. I can't find it. Katwalski agrees with me, but he can't find it. But I swear to God, somewhere, Discovery was supposed to be 3 seasons, and I thought that was how they were probably going to end it. And I was actually not looking forward to that because I expected Fandom Menace to be idiots about it. Like, oh, look, we predicted it. You know, we said this 6 times in a row and it came true. But we said it would end 6 times, and it finally ended on the one. But I swear I could read somewhere. I'm getting tired. Watching Super Bowl, but I do wish Bashir got to hook up with Jadzia. I don't know how I feel about that. If the Dominion did conquer the Alpha Quadrant, couldn't the Federation and Klingons keep fighting from the Beta Quadrant? So when they say Alpha Quadrant, they really mean Alpha and Beta Quadrant. According to dialogue, the Dominion actually got into the Beta Quadrant. They were stomping the Federation. They were talking about fighting on the Vulcan border. That's a hop, skip, and a jump away from Earth. That's basically Beta Quadrant. Have you seen any of the Venom Geek Media 98 Trek documentaries before his Cardassian War and Romulan Earth War? I have, actually. I watch his stuff. I've given him shout-outs quite a bit. Disco only having 3 seasons was before COVID in the long ago. I swear to God, there was an official statement saying it was going to be 3 seasons and that's it. But I can't find any reference to it. Here's an idea. Bashir hooking up with O'Brien. Ugh. O'Brien's not gay. He's so quite clearly not gay. And he's married. I don't mind that writing. I don't mind him being married and being gay with somebody. Just fucking don't rewrite it, you know? It's just, now you guys are just trying to make me mad, actually. It's not gross, Walter Mick. It's just not what happened. They should have a new Star Trek series called Star Trek Outer Limits, where it's all about discovering and meeting and uniting with new species, with only a few wars and fights. Maybe. Bashir and Ezri all the way. Cheat on Keiko, unlike... He would never cheat on Keiko because he chooses life. Keiko would kill him. O'Brien and Bashir are heterosexual life partners. That I could see. O'Brien married way out of his league. If you mean psycho killers, he did marry way out of his league. I will say, one thing I do not see Chief Miles O'Brien hooking up with is a psycho killer who hates everything about him and makes his life hell. So yeah, I would say that's out of his league. I would completely agree with that. O'Brien is canonically the most important person in Federation history. I know that was a joke, but I choose to accept it as fact. I like O'Brien. Did you know what, again, talking about Ira's bad decisions, you want to know what Ira wanted to do? Ira wanted to make O'Brien always be a sleeper agent for an alien species. He was supposed to always betray the Federation and not have been the everyman. He was liked so much they decided not to do that. So, smart, attractive, and dangerous. Fair enough, Mike. Fair enough. I think Keiko's attractive. You know, here's the thing. I actually don't hate Keiko. And I hate what they did to the character and for the actress. Because all of the scripts was to make O'Brien suffer. That was just a going theme. And because she was married to him, she was written to be like beastly, just a bad person. Like, it's a bad marriage. Take it from somebody who was married for 10 years and it failed. He's in a failing marriage. But that's because they wanted him to always suffer in one way or another. And that's unfortunate, I think. It would have been interesting seeing Shinzon's ship tearing apart Jem'Hadar's ships, considering how much stronger it is than the Sovereign's class. I don't think that ship was around in the Dominion War, but we do know that Shinzon was a veteran of that war, fighting for the Romulans. What about a series with the longest voyage in Starfleet history, crewed entirely by sentient holograms? I don't think it would work, but the original Lorca was supposedly killed during transport. She resented his transfer off the Enterprise. I guess we could see that. Lorca was transported onto the ship that was exploding at the same time that evil Lorca was transported off. And so I think that's where they're going with it. If I had to guess. I mean, they could, like, rewrite him living. Like, he pulled some kind of tech and survived. But the original story is that Prime Lorca died. O'Brien is the VIP of Trek history because if he wasn't chief engineer of DS9 and the Defiant, the Federation would have dissolved. It's true. It's true. Do you think Sisko was sidelined during the Battle of Sector 001 because of his connection? I think they did it to Picard, so I could see them doing that to him. That said, I actually do a breakdown of this. I think it is... I look like I haven't slept in days. Oh, that's just how I naturally look. I always look like crap. Thanks. I appreciate it. Thanks for pointing that out. 63 people watching. Probably a lot more when it goes on. Usually these videos, if I keep them live, go into the thousands. So thousands of people have now noticed that. Thank you so much, Okama. Appreciate that. I do it in my breakdown of the DS9, the Dominion War, the 7-hour one. I couldn't tell you where in it I do it, but I do talk about it. There's actually evidence that DS9 was quite busy at that point, and that's a reason why the A-team was kept at the thing. Because I think there was something going on with the Dominion. I don't think he was hanging with the Prophets. I think they were dealing with Dominion stuff. I'd have to go back and look. I do address it, though. I always felt like Miles and Keiko were in a really unhealthy relationship, but they put a lot of effort into their crappy marriage. Sure. I think so as well. Apple, Federation, Dominion, War, Starfleet. It was a really big military. I wonder... Apple? Oh, after, I guess is what you're trying to say. The Federation, Dominion, War, Starfleet has a really big military. I wonder what they're going to do with it. They never address it. I honestly think civil war or civil strife would happen. You could say that if O'Brien wasn't on the station, they wouldn't discover the wormhole, but I doubt they wouldn't. They would eventually. I think they'd eventually find it, but yeah. How about Star Trek Defiant, focusing on the Defiant and its crew, captained by Sisko's son? Why? He didn't want to be a Starfleet officer, so why on God's green earth would they make him the captain? That doesn't make any sense. If Nog was still here, I could see Nog taking care of it. If the actor was still here. I'm kind of done with Starfleet battles. It's interesting for me to say that, especially since my Borg Dominion War is going to be a lot of fighting. But licensed Trek, I would love to see kind of explore stuff. That's rough, buddy, but still like your videos, especially when you use sarcasm. Oh, Kami, I'm sleeping fine, buddy. I mean, I have 2 kids. I'm a single father that has full custody of his kids, so I guess that could make me look sleep. And since you like my sarcasm, I'm hoping you noticed that I was just being sarcastic and making a joke about it. And also, I'm usually asleep. I've usually been asleep. I go to sleep at like 8 at night because I'm old. And so it's about an hour and a half past my bedtime. The Federation should have drafted every able-bodied young man, woman of the ages to 17 to 30. Do they not? I thought they did. I'm done with Starfleet battles. Let's rewatch that part of Squadron. See, Dragon Sword, I see what you did there, good sir, but listen to me, good sir. I'm done with the way they're doing those battles right now. if they had done what we see in Squadron, oh man, do an entire Romulan war based on that. But why don't, if they're going to do it the way they are, which is very, oh man, the battle of Federation headquarters, it was like watching Game of Thrones only on starships. It was so dark and you couldn't see a lot of stuff. If they're going to do it that way, I think it's, I just like the idea of Starfleet letting a former captain's son being the future captain. I mean, nepotism was a thing in Star Trek. You see it in TNG, you see it in DS9, you see it in Voyager. Nepotism is a Starfleet thing. But it made no sense for the character. It has been so long, you might as well go recast Nog if you're going to bring him back. Instead of making a deep fake. Yeah, I'd just pick a new character. I'd like to see New Trek, but on occasion exploring the ancient races. The ones that built ROC, the race that built Norman's race from iMud. That could be interesting. Then maybe they'll do that. And Pike's one that's coming out soon. Totally. Cronyism is too? Yeah, they had a lot of cronyism there too. The life of Sisko's son is already laid out in the last episode. Okay. Crusher's the only Mary Sue who can compete with Mary Sue. What are you? You talking about Wesley Crusher? Yeah, Wesley was a self-insert, the worst kind of. Gene Roddenberry is the ultimate Trek fan inserting himself. Wesley was literally, him doing that. Because guess what Gene Roddenberry's middle name is? Just guess. Bet you can't guess. Have you guessed? Here's an interesting thing you guys may or may not be interested in. So the last couple of classes are more focused on getting yourself employed and looking at current pop culture and how they've impacted things. And so to understand pop culture now, you have to look at what it was in the past. And so we had to do icons. And I chose my icon to be Gene Roddenberry because he'd passed away. Here's an interesting thing. Swear to God, I'll stand by this. Gene Roddenberry set the seeds for Trek to be what it is now. He set the seeds to have Trek be very I want to use that word, be extremely LGBT plus, extremely progressive, beyond pushing various agendas. So like current era Trek, he set those seeds. The man would have hated that he basically ensured Trek would become what it is, though, I think. He was progressive for his time, but he would not have been a fan of what Trek has become, at least from everything we can see in his life. Molly O'Brien grows up and becomes cutthroat Starfleet military commander. I could see that. Honestly, the best part of TNG was whenever people yelled, "Shut up, Wesley." It's true. It's true. That's the God's honest. I can't stand Wesley Crusher. I can't stand Wesley Crusher. I cannot stand the person who plays Wesley Crusher. I will not ever meet him. I don't have any interest in that. I mean, I wouldn't go out of my way to start a fight with him if he ever... if we ever had to be in the same room or whatever, but I have no interest. If there's a con and he's there, not interested. A Mary Sue character is the most Roddenberry idea from Legacy Trek. I mean, in effect, all of them are Mary Sue characters. What they can do is unreasonable. What's going on, the author? Haven't seen you in a while, buddy. Hope everything's going okay. But yeah, so anything you guys want to talk about before we end this? By the way, thank you so much for supporting the channel, guys. I can't tell you. In February, it gets awful. I mean, it is a bloodbath. I love it because a lot of... I think it's funny because a lot of YouTubers, for some reason, lose the ability to realize this happens every year. And they're like, oh my God, YouTube is censoring me and they've stopped everything and I don't know what's going on when it happens every year. just stuff goes down. It always does. Hey, Lore Reloaded. I know what C Cannon did with Yoshi O'Brien, but what was Molly O'Brien's beta canon stuff, if you know offhand? I don't know offhand. I'm not sure what you're referring to, in fact. Sorry, Dragon. If Gene didn't sleep with him, they weren't on the show. Yeah, he wasn't a saint. He wasn't a saint, and from everything I researched, because I actually had to do a breakdown of his stuff and write up I actually had to create media for him promoting the current show or what he'd like. He was not... He would, first off, some of his ideas weren't his. And he... good chance he was a big sexist. And he would not have been a friend of the LGBT. That said, all of the seeds that he put in there, all of the progressive things that he pushed, all of the openness that Trek has, some of it was his, most of it wasn't, laid the groundwork for Trek to be what it is today. You did a senior thesis on Gene Roddenberry? Yeah. So, I mean, you know what I'm saying. Deep dive episode on the unexplained machines of Trek, Vol, the Doomsday Machine, and the like. I will put it towards that, good friend. I will put it towards that. What's unrealistic is I don't think I've seen anyone order a cheeseburger or a pizza on a replicator. That is the most unreasonable and unrealistic thing. I mean, it's true. That's just the God's honest. It's just, you're just speaking the truth, good sir. Lord. All right, anything else? And then we got to cut it off. You guys are crack. Deep dish or New York style? I've never been to New York, so I don't know what a true New York style is. I like New York style when it's offered by companies that are in like Tennessee. Tomorrow, Paris did pizza on the replicator. Did he? Oh, and not only Tomorrow, Paris, he ordered pizza twice. So there we go. Didn't he want pizza in the, what was it, the best episode that has ever been Voyager, where they went Warp 10, Voyager episode, Warp 10, Threshold. He wanted a cheese pizza. Dog's doing really well. They think that he has superpowers, how well he's healing. I actually don't have to take him in anymore. It was stupid expensive, but he's healed. Yeah, I'm sorry, Flame Ink. But next time, good sir, next time we'll do it. What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. You know what? Let's end it with this. This is something Power 543, Samuel Coxing, is doing. I thought it was good. Oh, do you want a pepperoni? I thought it was cheese. As someone who is from the Alphabet Soup Club, I get tired of the pandering. We're few in number. If you have 5 people, chances are none of them are... What are you talking about? As someone who is from the Alphabet Soup... What is the Alphabet Soup Club? Help me out with that one. I think Roddenberry would have been okay with some of the LGBT stuff. A lot of stuff talking about early season TNG says Roddenberry pushed for gay characters. I'm telling you, everything that I've looked at, he was not a fan of the LGBT generally. He was a fan of making money. And so sometimes he would do things that would make him money, even though he was like pushing communism like crazy. I mean, maybe he would have been... There's no way to know, right? Unless he was around now. So there's no way to know. And, you never really know who a person is completely unless you are that person. Maybe he would have. Maybe I'm wrong. It's just everything I look at really tells me he wasn't a fan of LGBT. But again, maybe I just looked at the wrong stuff. LGBTQ crowd? Oh, is that what the Alphabet Soup is? Well, I'm a part of the Alphabet Soup. It really blows people's minds. They don't really... I'm actually hetero-flexible. And I'm into poly relationships. And that blows people's mind. Apparently, if I'm white, fat, and have a beard, I am supposed to be like the straightest white dude you've ever met. Apparently. People are weird. When is the next Captain episode? What do you mean by that? Oh, should be coming up next week. Next week. Was Roddenberry an actual communist, or was he pushing it? I don't know what he was. I have no idea. What I do know, I call it LGBTQ Q or LGBT plus, LGBTQ plus. I'm not adding IA, and I'm not adding any other letters. If you want to call me a bigot for that, that's on you. I guess I just self-hate. I'm not adding anything else. That's where it ends for me. And I think that's okay. I dick motherfuckers. I don't know if he was an actual communist. He really pushed for communist ideals, though. Yet was an amazing capitalist. He is so like contradictory. He talked about how you had like a utopia, socialist communist utopia. Dude was a huge capitalist. He loved making money. He loved taking money from other people. Most poly people I've ever met have been fat. Well, I'm glad to meet that stereotype, Walter. I'm glad I could be there for you, my man. Do you think Star Trek are most poly people I've met fat? Now you got me thinking about that. Most of guys I've met are really thin. I don't know. See, now I'm gonna have to think about that. I equals intersex, A equals asexual. That's fine. I'm not saying it's bad or they shouldn't be a part of it. I'm saying LGBT or LGBTQ plus, and that's what I say. That's what I say. The others are included. It doesn't mean they're not a part of it, but that's what I say. It's what I say. I'm not adding any more letters. I'm not doing it. I'm sorry. No. No, sir. Are you trying to hook me up with your cousin, Sid? Is that where we're going with this? I swear it's in Chaos on the Bridge and a couple of other biographies of Trek people that he was super into the idea of universal sexual liberation. Okay, that's fine, Lisa. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying what I've read. It's okay, Lisa. I honestly believe you. I do. I'm not even being sarcastic. I'm not saying it's universal. It's just what I've encountered, says Walter Meck. All right, so we're gonna watch this and then we're gonna be done. We're gonna be done, sirs and madams. Done.
My name is Lieutenant Anna Keeley, Helms Officer on the USS Horizon. A few hours ago, I was safe with my ship, safe on a simple survey mission. Without warning, Horizon vanished and I was alone. Alone in a distant sector, the emptiness of space cold around me. But that wasn't the end of it. I had company.
Dun dun dun!
Unknown ships with weapons that could tear through me. I've had bad days, but this was a terrible one. I didn't know what to do. Run or fight? There were no good options.
Fighting isn't going to be an
option. Until
I found myself here, hundreds of light years from home. Not something you expected on a casual Thursday afternoon. No, Intrepid was pulled into the deep end, and we had to find a way out. Captain Daniel Hunter to Lieutenant Keeley, we've got your back. Red alert! Raise shields!
Keeley to unknown ships. We come in peace. We should work together to find out what's happening here. If you don't want to talk, then you leave us no choice. Computer, shields to full and charge phasers. Prepare to fire on my mark. 3, 2...
Dun, dun, dun. Anyway. Oh, there's one other thing I want to show you. I'm probably going to lose all my ability. I got to watch Abominable. So for those of you who don't know, you can't hear the voiceover. So I take my kids ever so often to private showings of older movies. So I rent out a thing because you can do that on AMC. Whoa! And so we do that. And I watched Abominable. Can I just show you the best thing that's ever in Abominable? And then we're going to end it with this. This is just... And this is how we're going to end it. It's awesome. You guys should watch the heck out of this. I don't care if you like it or not. We're in my house. My house. Only for the start, if you could hear it. You can't...
Mr. Burnett.
Why can't you guys hear it? It's coming through. Well, Raving of I'm glad you got to see me live. Can you hear this?
There are many rare and
It's
exotic
showing that's
animals
coming
we've
through.
collected over the years.
Can you not hear that? Yeah, some of you guys are talking. Stop messing with me. You guys can see this. I don't... Whatever.
These snakes, for example. You're the only one in the world to have a newly born clutch of rare whooping snakes.
Down! Go in your hole, you weird snake!
Sir, please. These creatures are to be respected.
They would make a lovely belt.
Mr. Burnish, they are one of a kind.
A one-of-a-kind whooping belt. A belt that goes whoop. Do I want that? I don't know. Take them away.
Wait, how many snakes are there supposed to be?
Why?
Keep watching. It gets better. You're watching the best parts of this movie, by the way. I'm ruining it for all of you. I love these things. I could watch this over and over again. This is what true happiness is. This is what my failed marriage needed.
There it is.
There it is.
There it is. Really, Dave?
Down there.
What was that? Get back, you abominable creature! Back!
I love that movie so much. I would cheat on anybody to be with that movie. Guys, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next Lore Reloaded.